guys, how's it going? Today we get to do some planting. We've got 2 different types of beautiful perennial in the back of the gator here, and then we've got 1 tree I need to load up still, and we'll get that in the ground as well. Now, we've had a lot of heat. I think we had 3 weeks of 100+ degree temperatures, upwards of 110, 111, but it looks like the next 7 days at least are going to be nice. Like right now it's 75, I think, outside, and we're supposed to top out low 90s, and we even have a day in the 80s. It is going to get hot again after that, but it gives us just that little window where we can tuck some things in. And these things right here, they're used to the heat. They've been sitting here. I picked them up a while ago, so they are used to being hot, and I think it's actually going to be better on them to be in the ground where they've got soil all the way around the root ball rather than in little plastic containers. But look at this load. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 different varieties of Echinacea, 1 variety of Aster, which we already have some of these in the garden, and I will show them to you. They're actually in bloom right now. Here's Russell. Hey, buddy. You joining us this morning? Hey. Every year when the Echinacea start to bloom, I think, why have I not planted more Echinacea? Because they're so low maintenance. They provide so much color. They do not need to be deadheaded. They're just awesome. And I just wanted to start right here in this area because I think this is where I have the most amount of Echinacea in one spot. I'm not sure all the varieties. I think I've got green twister here. That's something raspberry. It's not raspberry beret. I can't remember. Anyway, there's the double-coated butter pecan. I think that's just an Echinacea purpurea right there. But I just love them. I think they're such an amazing workhorse perennial for a hot, sunny spot in your garden. They don't need a tremendous amount of water once they are established. They're also ones I like to start from seed too. Like we've got a big drift, they're in a row. A big row of them in the cut flower garden, and they are the Echinacea purpurea variety, and they're just stunning. And I started a whole bunch more. I think I planted 48 or so out by the front entryway as little seedlings this spring, and some of them are already starting to bloom. They're just amazing plants. So let's take a look at varieties here. This one right here, I think is the smallest of all the ones I have, and there's 3 of them. They're called Wicked. These grow 12 to 16 inches tall, 14 inches wide, hardy down to zone 4, which is -30 degrees Fahrenheit. And when I went down to the garden center to choose varieties, there were a lot of different ones, but I wanted to choose ones in pink tones and white and then the green because they're very cooling colors. Now look at this double. This is called Sundial Pink. Isn't that amazing? So this one grows a little bit bigger, upwards of 24 inches tall, 22-inch spread, also hardy down to zone 4. Oh, here comes Aaron and Samantha. What are you guys doing?
We're gonna go fertilize.
Oh, very nice.
The grass.
Very nice.
Well,
Cool.
fun.
Yeah, you too. Bye, baby. Oh, and here comes Benjamin. What are you doing, dude?
Daddy and Samantha.
Well, you're fast. You'll do it. Then we've got a variety called White Swan, which I've got some of these in the garden already, and we can go over and take a look at them. These get quite a bit taller, and you can tell. I mean, look at that. So these will grow 3 feet tall by 2 feet wide. These are hardy down to zone 3. Are they going the other way? Yep, they are. And then we've got one called Green Jewel. I love this. I think it's so pretty. And we've got some of these out by the pond. 24 inches tall, 12 to 18 inches wide. I chose this variety in particular for around the pond because it wasn't so bright. It was more of an understated flower, which is kind of what I want in that area. You know, I want that area to be a little bit more mountain-esque in feel. So I didn't really feel like, you know, big double bright blooms kind of fit that aesthetic, but the green jewels really do. And chartreuse just cools down a spot in the garden, so I'm excited to have more out here. And then we have our, I think is it Monk's Asters, is that how you say it? Anyway, purple blooms, 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, hardy to zone 5, and they are just a beautiful midsummer through early fall bloomer. We really should just take a quick spin around and look at a few of these things that we've got in the garden already. That's the Price is White right there. What do I have? Oh, these are the Supreme Cantaloupe. Those kind of orangey apricot ones right there. None over here yet. We might need to tuck some in right there. This weather is a gift, you guys. Oh, it feels so good out here. There's the Echinacea purpurea. So all started from seed last winter, and they did this last year. Like they got this big and bloomed beautifully like this in their first season. And I just think they're such a beautiful flower. The pollinators love them. Oh, there's just bumbles and bees all over the place out here. Oh, also a little bindweed, excellent. Ugh. Bindweed is my absolute nemesis. I just posted a picture on Facebook and Instagram, I think it was last night, showing where we planted the arb hedge along the west side and how we put landscape fabric down before, which we don't usually use. But in that case, we had there was one patch in particular, a horrible bindweed issue. You can't pull this stuff. You pull it, it angers it, and it spreads. The only thing you can really do is smother it out like we've done with the landscape fabric, or spray it. And in that case, I thought, well, if it takes over the arb hedge, there's no spraying it out because it would kill my arbs too if I tried to spray it. So I would be stuck. That's why we decided on the landscape fabric in that area, but we've got it just everywhere too. Just something we have to deal with, I guess. Oh, here's some more purpurea. This was part of the same batch. I had too many, actually. So I put some of them out here last spring. Love it. It's just slowly filling in out here. Here's another one right there. We've got the, is it one in a melon? Behind the betony, which the betony was not this tall last year. But you can kind of see the yellowish color. They start kind of a orangey mango color. We've got, is this Cheyenne Spirit or something like that? I know that's the name of a grass, isn't it? Anyway, Cheyenne Sky, Cheyenne, maybe just Cheyenne. It's more oranges and pinks. We've got a double pink one that's kind of blooming out at this point. Right here is our Monk's Aster, which you could come along earlier in the season and pinch it back, which is what I should have done because this is what happens, you guys. We did have a tremendous amount of rain a couple of nights ago, and it was a nice solid drift until then, and it kind of knocked it down, but it does keep it a little bit more tidy if you do pinch it back, kind of like your other asters and mums. But they're such a beautiful purple flower, and you can see they're just loaded with buds. They're just gonna keep on blooming through the whole rest of the season. And I just feel like having this color, it's such a cooling color, in more spots during this time of the year is going to be nice. Here's another pink double variety I can't remember the name of, but they're looking pretty. Ooh, right here, Sombrero Gold. Aren't those awesome? Here's some of the white swan right here, along with a pink that I don't know how that one got in here, but all pretty. Double, this must be the butter pecan. I think that's what that is. There's a couple right there. I think I initially planted more in that spot. It's kind of dwindled down to 2. But one thing about Echinacea is that you do want to make sure it's a well-draining spot and that they don't get way too much water. I think that's what's happening right there. Oh, there's a swallowtail. You see it? Fluttering around. Oh. Here's the green jewel. Isn't it beautiful right here? I just think it's perfect for this area. Let's see if the fish want some food. I'm working on having them get used to me feeding them because I would love for them to eat out of our hands. The kids would love that. See, they're approaching. They're getting a lot closer to me now. Start with a couple pieces. I'm wearing them down. It used to be they would stay out in the middle of the pond and wouldn't even come close to the edge. I bet you it's just a matter of days at this point. Okay, so we have seen all the things in terms of Echinacea and the aster. So I'm gonna head out and just get all of these planted. And in the end, we'll walk through and take a look at where each variety ended up. And when we're done with all of that, we'll load up the bigger tree. And it's going to go in a spot that I don't think we can get the auger to, like the big auger. So we'll have to hand dig the hole for this tree. It's a serviceberry, it's beautiful. And I think it's gonna be perfect for the spot where I want it to go. So let's get to planting. In our first location here, very first one, we've got the 8 white swan echinacea, which I think are going to be absolutely beautiful here. But what are the odds? What are the odds that I would place each one of them along a row of drip? With as much planting as we do, I rarely hit drip lines, but I just made 3 cuts in the drip line here. So I'm gonna have to do a little repairing before we carry on. I've got 2 holes in the 1/2 inch drip line here and 1 big one in the 3/4 inch supply line. Look at that, just ripped that one right open. Looks like we have made a repair right here before. I didn't all the way cut through this one, but I perforated it tiny bit. So I'm just gonna replace this whole section right here. So it'll just be 1 repair instead of 2. And then check this out. I just went right along that 3/4 inch right there. Thank goodness they're easy fixes, but my word. Let's go get our supplies. That's perfect. Okay, we're gonna make our 1/2 inch repair first. So what I wanna do, I've got my 1/2 inch piece right here, and then I've got 2 straight couplers. So I'm just gonna cut out the affected piece here. So about there. Oh, there's a T. Oh, brother. Okay, well, drip is awesome until it's not awesome. This is not awesome. Not right here. Okay. To cut it off the T, and I didn't bring a T with me, so I'm gonna have to cut this old tubing off of it so we can reuse it. All right, so I'm gonna put my first coupler into my new piece and then apply it to the old one, or attach it, whatever. Okay, now I need to put my T back in, so I have to cut into this line. Okay, last bit is to connect our last coupler. That one's done. Okay, this next one for the 3/4 inch line, because it's a supply line, it carries more water, a little bit more pressure, so I am going to be using clamps over the tube onto the coupler here. It's the only extra thing. So I'm going to cut out the damaged section, which goes to about here. Yeah, look at that. Damaged. Oh, wait a minute. Don't forget your clamp. Got to put your clamp on first. Wait a minute. I need two couplers. Shoot. Oh my gosh, I grabbed 2 right-handed gloves. How's your day going? Is it going better than mine? Oh my word. I guess I'll have to use a right-handed glove then. Good enough. All right. Oh my goodness, got the repairs made. So now we can get these planted, and we'll just pray I don't hit any more. I really should put together a small drip kit to make repairs like this. I just haven't got around to doing it. Wouldn't take much, just a little bucket with a few supplies, but we'll just pray that I don't hit any more today. My goodness gracious. Ah. I literally have ants in my pants. Where in the world did those come from? Ouchie. Oh, I see it. I see the ant hill. Oh, what a day. Oh my goodness. Ooh. This ground is literally crawling with ants, and they were biting my ankles. Well, we managed to get them all in the ground. That was an eventful 45 minutes, my word. 3 cuts in the drip line, a huge ant pile, and I only had 2 right-handed gloves. So I was trying to plant in the ant pile with just one hand, but we got it done and they look good. We're gonna start with the last ones I got in the ground and just kind of work our way back. But these are the wicked Echinacea, which were the smallest, so 14, I think to 16 inches tall, so really nice toward the front of a bed. Tucked them in right by this chamomile. We started this from seed this winter. It's awesome and the pollinators love it. And I hope it just kind of spreads itself around in here. There's also some of the Fama blue pincushion flowers that were itty bitty when I planted them out. And those get kind of tall, wispy blue blooms, like a lavendery blue bloom on them. So I think that'll be a beautiful back layer to these Echinacea right here. Also, look at the cashmere pink, or pink cashmere, I can't remember which way it goes, but the Superbena, oh my word. And over here as well, look at this massive drift of color. We've got the Hoopla Vivid Orchid, Supertunia Mini Vista White. There's a drift of the Ringo Double Pink Roses, which are just kind of budding back up, and they'll be full of pink color here soon. And then a whole bunch of that Superbena. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty. I have enjoyed this spot so much. We planted some microchip pink buddleia in here. These are a fairly, I think a newish spirea. Can't remember the name, but they've got pretty pink blooms as well. Our denim and lace Russian sage is starting to bloom. We've got some pincushion flowers. This is the Fama white variety. Vanessa Bell roses, back in black sedum, little mini tour here. We've got some fall in love sweetly anemones, which will start blooming pink here really soon. Miss Violet buddleia, Bethany I need to cut back, and like the tallest mangave bloom stalk ever. It's about ready to start blooming. Anyway, we could go on and on. Can you believe how much it's filled in out here? It's just nuts. You know, I'm gonna cut across. Also, I have liked this Kufia a surprising amount. I think paired with the little quickfire tidbit hydrangeas and the lemon coral, it has kind of a cooling effect on it, and it's just been so pretty. Okay, so right in here, and I left the hose out because I think I'm gonna have to come back through this afternoon and re-water the asters because they were incredibly root bound. So I wanna make sure that they're tucked in nicely today. But we've got some meadow rue in here. It's the cotton candy, it's a new variety, and I wanna say it grows like 2 to 3 feet tall. So it's got a kind of a pinky lavender bloom. And then we've got some sedum right here. So I thought it'd be pretty to do just kind of this big sweep of asters. So there's 2 here. And then there's our drift of green jewel echinacea, which is a beautiful color, especially with all the other color that we've got going on in here. And then I started back in and kind of did an arc right here. Just recently planted the Catalpa in here and it's looking great. And we've got all of this space to still work with. But real quick update over here too. Our container full of 2025 annuals is looking awesome. The Tiara Blue Supertunia is really a nice one. And this drift. Superbena Cobalt, Supertunia Saffron Finch, the Angelonia Super Blue toward the back, and the Diamond Frost is finally coming into its own. There's just a few sprinkled throughout. For a while it was just sitting there doing nothing, and now it's starting to put on some growth. But I love this color. This color combination is awesome. It's easy to get distracted this time of year. Right in here we have our double pink echinacea in between some iris and some hardy geraniums. There's a bloomerang lilac back in here. And I've got to do something right in here. I just can't decide what exactly. I feel like I need a little bit of evergreen interest. I've got some Spring Grove arbs. You guys remember how big those were when we planted them and what it looked like out here when we planted them? Crazy difference now. There's a crabapple here, a Corinthian linden, which this one only gets 15 feet wide. So I could probably, I don't know, I feel like I could pop this bloomerang out that's not really doing much. And once we move this urn, we can scoot it and put some kind of a small evergreen right here. I think that would be a good move. Oh, this border's so pretty. Look at that. That's a new Supertunia Mini Vista, something veined. Pink veined. It's an amazing performer. Looks great with the lemon coral. And there's our first echinacea right there. Oh, my goodness, white swan. That'll be perfect in that spot, I think. Okay, so that project is done. Now I'm gonna go grab Aaron, because this isn't like this tree's in a 25, I think it's a 25-gallon can. It's big and it's heavy, so he's gonna help me with that. Aaron is out here. This is the tree right here, and it's so beautiful. The Autumn Brilliant Serviceberry. I've got 2 of these already in the garden, and I just think they're fantastic trees, and they don't get super big. 20 by 15. I mean, it's still big enough it's gonna cast some shade, but the spread is kind of more the thing I was keeping in mind, and you'll know why when we get it to its new spot. But in the spring, they're just covered in white flowers, and then they get really pretty purplish blue berries that are edible. The kids love them, and then that's what they look like in the fall. They're brilliant.
Are they brilliant?
Yes.
Is it a brilliant Serviceberry?
It is a brilliant one.
Oh, you got a cutter?
You know what? I think we can just untie it.
Oh.
Because I'm that good of a knot maker. Okay, gotta go slow and easy so I don't lose the tree out the back. Isn't that pretty?
Wow.
And it only gets 15 feet wide, so 7.5 feet from the trunk over, and the larch only gets 6 feet wide. So they might touch in the end.
Yeah.
But not much.
That's great.
Let's get it in the ground. That'll be fun. Oh, look, there's a drip line going right through this area.
Here, you wanna,
How handy. Oh, and it's got tees in 2 spots. No. 3 spots. No. Yes. What we need to do is just get a piece to where we can come out like this, and then we can connect this one over here. So that we can dig right here. Right?
yeah, you just cut it all and put it back together.
Okay, let me grab my cutters. So that's not too bad, huh?
No.
I can just tack these back for now.
Might be able to just throw some teas on this actually, because we'll need some drip right here anyway.
Yeah.
So if we do, yeah.
Okay, well,
easy.
should be easy. Ugh. Said the person who did not break 3 drip lines this morning. Ooh, that's root bound. Guys, this is a beautiful tree right here. I wanted to start out here on the driveway side of things so you could see a view into this south garden area. And while some of these things are going to get big, like this is a baby blue spruce, and I can't remember exactly, maybe like 20 by 12 or something like that. And then we've got a viburnum that will get, you know, large shrub size. The Siberian spruce will get large. I felt like I needed a little bit more vertical interest in here. And these trees right here being conically shaped, I wanted something more round to kind of fit in more like, you know, a puzzle piece. And it's gorgeous. I kind of feel the same way about this tree as I did about the birch when we put that in there. Just thinking like, why didn't I do that before? They're so pretty. Okay, now let's take a look from the inside here. The Supertunia Vista bubblegum is an absolute showstopper right there. But look at this. With the new bench placement right here, this is the one that we brought over from the west side a couple days ago, and I put some stones leading up to it. That's when I decided, you know what? I think I need something in here to kind of cozy that bench in, and I need a little bit more vertical interest, and it's so beautiful. So you can see the blue spruce back in there, and then just imagine that being bigger, because eventually when you drive in right here, I don't really want to be able to see into this area. I want it to be its own cozy spot, its own room. And I think we've made a pretty good effort working toward that, and we will get there eventually. Some areas are more thickly planted than others. It just kind of has happened in a natural sort of way, or maybe more of a willy-nilly sort of way. Like, oh, I like that tree, let's put it right there. Sort of a situation. There's no plan for this space out here. Most of you know that about this area. The only plan I had was where the pathways needed to go, because we needed to know where sprinklers needed to be to water that. And then everything else, all of the plants around it, has just been kind of a see the plants you love and find a spot for them. And usually in the end, well, we hope in the end, it all comes together. But this, along with all the Echinacea and Asters we put in today, I feel really good about them. I feel like they were all very good additions to the South Garden today. And you guys, that is going to be it for today's project. Super happy with everything we did today. I need to go around and get things watered. However, we do have kind of it's not a cloud cover really, it's kind of a smoke cover. I don't know if you can tell, like in the distance, the last little bit, we've got kind of like this foggy haze, and that's all smoke from the rangeland fires. So that's what's going on in the air. And while I wish it wasn't going on in the air, it is helping temper the sun, and it's keeping things a little bit happier. They're not drying out quite as quickly, so I won't have as much watering to do. I would rather have it the other way for sure, but a little less work on our end right now. Oh my gosh, the whole time I could see this weed staring at me. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're having a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.